Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stampin' with Inky Fingers, mystery stamping for Wednesday, March 24th. Hope everybody had a good week and welcome back. So today's mystery stamping, I've posted the clue number 1, which is your supplies, on my Facebook page. But if you didn't see it, we'll go over it again right now. Before we get started, I do want to mention that the retired list has been posted. I posted it on my page and it is available also on my website for shopping. So you might want to take a look at that. All right. So if you are placing an order with me this week or next, this is the host code that you can use. And again, just remembering, if your order is $200 or more, do not use the host code because then you'll get the host credits yourself. All right, so let me grab my supplies here. So the first thing we wanted was a piece of 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we wanted a piece that is 5 1/4 by 1/2 inch. I did put that under the same color, but ideally you probably want a coordinating color or contrasting color. All right, then you wanted a color number 2, scrap piece to match your designer series paper. So again, I chose the Rococo Rose. So there's my scrap paper for that. You wanted 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/4 basic white, and a piece of scrap basic white as well. And then a piece of designer series paper is 5 1/4 by 1. All right, and then the rest is just your stamp set, a punch or die to fit your sentiment and image, an embossing folder, ink, embellishments, and adhesive. Okay, so there's the supplies that we need. Now let me just move some of this stuff out of our way. And we'll move on to clue number 2. So clue number 2 says to emboss 1 piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white. So you had 2 pieces of basic white the same size. You just want to emboss one of them. Okay, clue number 3 says adhere this embossed piece to your card front. Okay, so I haven't put this as one of the clues, but you do want to fold your card base along that score mark and burnish it with your bone folder. Okay, so on your card front, you want to adhere your piece of basic white that you just embossed. Okay, so glue that on there. Okay, there we go. All right, clue number 4 says add the second piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white to the inside of your card base. So you're literally just going to adhere that inside. Okay, so now you've got a piece of embossed on the outside and your piece of basic white on the inside. Clue number 5. Adhere the piece to the 1/2 by 5 1/4 piece of colored cardstock. So that's this piece. To the right side of the DSP that measures 1 by 5 1/4. So there's your designer series paper. Here's your 1/2 inch cardstock. You're just going to adhere the 2 of those, one on top of the other. Okay, and you want to put the cardstock on the right side of your designer series paper. Okay, clue number 6. Adhere both of these layers to the left side of your basic white. So the basic white that you put on the front of your card base, you're now going to adhere these two pieces. So you've got something like that. Okay. Clue number 7. Stamp your sentiment on the piece of basic white scrap. So I had a piece of white scrap here. I think I'm just going to use this happy birthday. Clue number 8. Using your punch, die, or paper trimmer, or paper snips, cut out your sentiment. Clue number 9. Using the piece of colored cardstock scrap and a larger punch, die, or paper trimmer, create a mat for the sentiment. So I just have my scrap that matches my strip of cardstock that I used, and I'll just punch that out. When I'm matting like this, I love this double oval punch. So it's got the oval, and then it's also got the scalloped one. And you can stamp or punch 2 of them at the same time, or 1. So for my matted one, I'll use this scalloped. And for the sentiment, I'll use the smaller oval. And then you just mat the 2 of them together like so. There you go. You got a nice finished piece. Okay, clue number 10 says, adhere the sentiment to the mat piece you just created. So that was what I just showed you. So glue the 2 of those, or snail or adhesive of some sort, together. Okay, clue number 11. Adhere the matted sentiment piece to the card front. So again, you've got your embossed piece, and you've got your designer series paper and this strip of cardstock. You want to adhere the 2 of these to your card front. Now it kind of will depend on, because you are going to stamp an image next, so it's kind of going to depend on how big your image is on where you want to place this. All right, so keep that in mind. Actually, if you want to wait to adhere it until you have your image stamped, that's okay too. All right, so clue number 12, stamp an image on your basic white scrap. And if it needs to be colored, you're going to do that now as well. Okay, clue 13, die cut, punch, or cut the image out with your paper snips. And 14 says to adhere your image piece to the bottom left of the sentiment with dimensionals. So that's what I was saying, that this will kind of depend where you put your sentiment on how big your image is. Okay. And clue number 15 says to add any embellishments that you want. If you've got some gems or sequins or rhinestones, Wink Stella, anything you want to add there. Okay, and clue number 16, your mystery is solved. So here's the card that I made earlier. I don't know if you can see that. And so today, like I was saying, I was going to use the In Bloom, but I didn't do that card. But for this one, I used the berry sweet strawberry stamp set. This was the Berry Blessings Designer Series paper that was part of the celebration. I did use the double oval punch to punch out my sentiment. And then I use the heart gems as my embellishments. Right? My cardstock here is Pacific Point, and my card base is Misty Moonlight. So there we go. That's our card for today. Make sure you send me pictures of what you've created, and I can't wait to see them. And don't forget to check out the retiring list, because if there's some must-haves on your wish list, you're going to want to get them early because they are while supplies last. And if you are ordering from me, it's Stampin' with Inky Fingers, or if you go onto my Stampin' with Inky Fingers page, there's a shop button there that'll take you right to my store, and then you can use the host code that I've got listed here. All right, so have a great week, everybody. Hope to see you back next Wednesday, and take care.